Is he in the room?
Yeah, he went to the other room. He said he'd be here in a minute.
Oh, okay. All right, we're just waiting for, here he comes.
Final on tab.
I just got on tab. Yeah, I just got it.
Lisinsky, whatever her name is, she bonded out. This one bonded out.
Okay.
So we got this one and tab.
Okay, great. All right, who's first?
This is Ms. Tab, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Tab. This is, one second. I'm sorry, this is the People versus Devonia Martha Jean Tab.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. James Gazicki on behalf of Ms. Tab. And I waive the reading of the complaint, stay on mute, and request a personal bond in this matter. And she's also requesting court-appointed attorney.
Okay. I've entered a not guilty plea on her behalf with respect to the plea. Do you have the paperwork or do you have?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, could you just explain to her the charge again? I don't think I did it.
All right. Yeah, Ms. Tab, the charge against you is count 1, that you did intentionally or knowingly commit the following acts or acts that under the circumstances posed an unreasonable risk of harm or physical injury to a child by repeatedly slapping the child in the face, contrary to MCL 750-136B. And that is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year probation, 1 year in jail, or probation for up to 5 years. I've signed the request for a court-appointed attorney. Ma'am, did you go over your constitutional rights with your lawyer? Can you speak? You got to speak real loud so I can hear you. Yes. Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
And did you give your attorney permission to sign your name on that advice of rights form?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll incorporate that into the file. Now, as to bond, Mr. Gazicki, I see that the allegation is essentially that she was using a controlled substance and repeatedly striking a child. So, but I also see she's got no, other than a license case, she's got no criminal history whatsoever.
I would ask for a personal bond in this matter, Your Honor.
Ma'am, I'm going to give you a personal bond because of your lack of criminal history. I don't see any other charges against you, but there are going to be some conditions of that bond, okay? You're to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court. You're not to commit any new crimes while released. You're to immediately notify the court of change of address or phone number. You're not to have any contact with Nyana Wilson.
What do you mean I can't have no contact with her? That's my child.
You're not talking to your child while this case is pending. You're charged with the crime of hurting that child.
So you
So
said
that
I can't
child's
be around my child?
What's that?
So you said I can't be around my child?
Yes, ma'am, I'm saying that.
What? And I don't like that makes sense. How I can't be around my child?
Ma'am, CPS is involved. A family member is taking custody of your children. And those children will stay with that relative while this case is pending and while CPS is doing their investigation.
So CPS is about to be involved in this?
CPS is involved in this.
And what? So I'm gonna run my time.
What's that?
And my kids is staying with relative.
I can't, ma'am, I can't understand what you're saying.
My kids is staying with relatives.
Yes.
I said, which relative are they staying with?
Okay, if you talk to her and don't yell at her, she can understand what you're saying.
I'm not yelling, I'm talking.
No, you're yelling.
A family member has custody of the children.
No, okay, well, I don't want them with my sister.
All right, you know what? She's so combative and it doesn't seem like she's gonna respect the conditions of the bond. So I'm converting the bond. She's not to have any contact with either of the minor children. She can't go to where they're staying without permission of the court or CPS.
I'm just saying that I understand what you're saying, but I don't want my kids staying with my sister.
Okay. All right, she can't purchase or consume alcohol or illegal drugs, can't possess or have access to firearms. She has a $5,000 10% bond.
They tether to whatever.
Yeah, with the GPS tether.
I will be on the tether.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna be on the tether.
All right, man, sit tight, I'll be right back. This is Mr. Mitchell, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Mitchell, come on up here to the door. Yes, sir.
All right, this is the People versus Ean Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, James Gizicki, on behalf of Mr. Mitchell. Waive the reading of complaints, stay in mute, request court-appointed attorney, also request a personal bond in this matter.
All right, I've entered a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I have 3 different files here that he's just never come to court on. I have a case that allegedly occurred on August 3rd for driving on a suspended, August 3rd of 21, never came to court. He's been in warrant status since October 21. I got another case, possession of an imitation firearm. That case is alleged to have occurred on September 8th of 2020. He's been in warrant status on that case since January of 21. And then he's got another case for fighting, and that's alleged to have occurred on September 8th of 2020. And again, he's been in warrant status on that since January 1st of 2021. So I've entered a not guilty plea on his behalf on all of the cases. What's going on here? So, Mr. Gizicki, what is your client doing that would make a personal bond appropriate for someone who never shows up to court?
So, Your Honor, I think you got his attention. He's been in custody. I can't explain why he didn't show up to the other court date.
Okay. Sir, did you go over your constitutional rights with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you give your attorney permission to sign your name on that advice of rights form?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I've also signed the request for a court-appointed attorney, sir, so you'll have an attorney for when you come to court. But your attorney's asking me for a personal bond. Mr. Mitchell, you never come to court. Why would I give you a personal bond?
Excuse me, ma'am, can I please explain?
Sure.
When that case, that fighting and that imitation of a firearm, I had got here, and then I spoke to the detectives, and I spoke to everybody, and they released me. I thought all that case was clear. Because they had.
No, these cases are all in warrant status. Sir, court cases don't go away if you don't show up.
Ma'am, I promise you, ma'am, I did not know. If I would have known, the detective said that I was all fine and I was good. I did not know that. If I would have known that was still on there, I would have been cleared that up, ma'am.
Are you working?
Yes, ma'am. I work at the Oakwood Group. I'm a hollow driver. I work night shift. I've been in here since Monday. I use 4 of my personal days. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm gonna give him $1,000 personal bond. Sir, I'm writing on your file that I'm giving you this personal bond and that you and I had the talk and you understand you gotta come to court. If you do not come to court next time, I swear,
No,
you're gonna sit on cases that you shouldn't have to sit on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. It's gonna be $1,000 personal on each case. Here's your conditions, sir. You're to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court. You're not to commit any new crimes while released. You're to immediately notify the court of change of address or phone number.
Yes, ma'am.
Can't have any contact with Antoine Burris.
Who is?
It's whoever, the allegation is who you got in a fight with or the fighting
Okay,
case
yes,
from
ma'am.
God only knows when. I don't know
Yes.
who it is. I'm not saying you did it. I'm saying you're not allowed to see him while this case is pending.
Yes, ma'am.
Can't purchase or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You can't possess or have access to a firearm, and you can't operate a motor vehicle without a valid license, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're all set. Make sure you're gonna get a court date in the mail. Is that on something?
Oh, yeah.
It's 2 streets.
Hold on.
1915 Linsdale.
Linsdale? Is it Lyns or how do you spell that street?
Libbesdales. It's 2 streets over
Linsdale.
from. Yes, ma'am. It's 2 streets over from Bassett.
Are you on, is it Detroit?
Yes, ma'am. Down River. Yes, ma'am.
What's that zip code there?
48217.
All right. That's all set then, sir. You're gonna get that court dates mailed to that address. If you don't get that court date within the next week, call the court so you don't miss again and end up going to jail.
Yes, ma'am. Can I get a paper on this time, like, so I can like know for sure? Because last time I left, the detective said I was all right, and I'm here now. Can I get like a paper like to show me my court date and everything? So I won't.
When you get out of the jail, listen. I don't know your court date. They're gonna have to assign it downstairs at the clerks. But if you get out, when they let you go, walk across we're right next door to the police department. Come up here to the clerks and say, can I get my court date?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.